So yeah, welcome everyone. Thank you for having me here. This is my first time at Minnesota Microsoft 365 User Group. So glad to be here. I've been delivering a lot of lectures on AI and Gen AI, and I thought this would be a perfect thing to deliver here. Just to start with, I also wanted to make sure everyone is aware about the OpenAI and Microsoft collab. It's been happening day in and day out, right? So from a startup point of view, since I run a startup, we get a lot of credits. So just in case if someone of you are having access to different programs, you can share across to a lot of people. Even I can share. There's Microsoft for Founders Hub. There's Microsoft for Startups program. There's a lot of programs which Microsoft is really supporting us for using the developer tools and getting those free customized, software and stuff like that. Now, a little bit about me before I start the session. I'm really passionate about AI. I've had around 10 plus years of experience into corporate training, last being with KPMG. And right now, I am running a technical education startup. This is in India, Hyderabad, where I'm trying to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to match recruiters with students and corporate professionals looking for jobs and internships. So the whole aim is to make sure they are on a single platform, getting what they want. I have delivered close to 360 plus lectures, including 100 plus in AI. And I've been really passionate to travel. I've been lucky to get a couple of scholarship trips with the Singapore and the South Korean government as well. And my last speaking session was at Kuala Lumpur at Microsoft, delivering on similar topic with marketing because I really love marketing. I currently also mentor at the following locations like Vadvani Foundation, IBM, STPI, LabLab AI, Startup Bootcamp, and Masters Union. And when it comes to running communities, I am also passionate about running communities. So I run the local Azure developer community. I am also a speaker lead for ADP List, and there's also Omdena where I contribute most of my time. Right. Along with that, I've recently been nominated for Microsoft MVP in AI. So that's what I am actually looking for. Now, talking about how AI has impacted, I just wanted to show you a quick video to understand how AI really is changing the way how we see things. So if you can see on the left hand side, I was at Pangyo Startup Campus in Korea. And the image, if you see the quality of how AI is predicting your future is really amazing. You can see, how it has changed the color of mine using AI. Similarly, here it has turned me old, right? If you try to see this, compare this picture, and similarly, you can see a lot of white hair coming into the picture. So I really love AI and how these AI tools are really, helping us to predict the future. Now, a little bit of an introduction about, Copilot and why we are here. So these are the things which I do on a day-to-day basis. First, for the foremost example is, let's say if we are a corporate professional, one of the key challenges we find is to generate different kind of ideas. So with Copilot, you can just quickly go and give a prompt about whatever idea you have in mind. It will just try to structure it in a such a way that it really saves a lot of your times. For me personally, I've been designing a lot of strategies around AI ML topics and discussing with a lot of corporate persons when I conduct events offline and online, and also to reach out to a lot of masses in startup community because that's a lot. We have a startup in Hyderabad where we have 10,000 startups sitting at one locations in T Hub. So we have large community in India where we try to reach out to large number of people, working around with AI. Now this is just a use case about like how Copilot has been a game changer. Obviously, when you try to use the free version versus a paid version, this is just a comparison. So you can see like, using an advanced version like GPT-4. I'll also give you a differentiation between what Copilot Pro versus GPT-4 is. But you can see here in this kind of an example, the accuracy part. I've really been passionate about using the paid tools, and I found it like, when it comes to output, this is giving the right answer when you see with the GPT-4. But when you go with the basic version of Copilot, it can still make mistakes. Same is the same with ChatGPT. When you go with the Pro version, it hardly makes any mistake in terms of accuracy. So I always believe on using the paid tools. That has really been useful for me. Now, when it comes to like different creativity segment as well, so we are also using. So right now in India as well as in different part of the world where I travel, even the songwriters are using it for lyrics creation. So you can just imagine how Copilot has been a game changer, and it is just amazing to use on a day-to-day basis, and also to get some amazing accurate answers. This is just a differentiation between Copilot Pro and GPT-4 for the folks who probably want to use it. So you can see here, like when it comes to integration, there's a little bit difference about API for developers and 365 apps, right? And then obviously you have the GPT-4, which is a free model versus here the turbo model. And image generation here, it gives you 100 boosts per day for DALL-E 3, and here you can have 200 images per day. So that's the difference you need to think about. Pricing remains the same. Even with chat GPT also, the pricing is same. And the use cases obviously depend on how you want to use it. So let's say I am very passionate about productivity and document creation. So for me, Copilot Pro is perfect. But let's say if I want to do language processing or do multimodal tasks, then GPT-4 module will be a perfect tool for me. Now, to give you a little bit of context, about how it has really impacted our day-to-day routines. Think about, like, you want to do a lot of shopping, or let's say you want to do a lot of grocery things. So your assistance and your communication, everything can be accurately put into a tool like Copilot, and it will help you to schedule tasks accordingly, right? Even you can use different tools to schedule your meetings, right? So there are extensions which is available with Copilot, so you can schedule it, right? Even a lot of information access is there. So I remember searching my first Copilot prompt, like around 6 months before. That same prompt access, I still have it now. I can create folders and I can create different scenarios to use it again and again, right? So this is one benefit I find with a Copilot in a day-to-day life. And obviously, as I mentioned about creative assistance, I mean, with the kind of images it generates and the kind of tools which we can integrate, just like Canva or any kind of tools, right? So it can really help me to solve amazing problems much quicker and give me answers with some amazing creativity. So this is just an image how we generate through AI-based tools. Now, I mean, I also wanted to share something from my own personal life, how Copilot has really helped me. Right now, been working with two of the largest enterprises known as Netflix and Amazon Prime. There are some Hollywood actors, Bollywood actors who would like to have a digital likeness image of them, so that, when they don't have time and they want to take, let's say, a couple of more sessions, or they want to do more acting, but they cannot travel, so we can have a digital likeness model of them. So we were working with one of the UK production house, where we have created this data set, which will help us to create exactly the way how the actor is talking, the way he is actually speaking, the way how he's acting, his hand gestures, everything gets copied with the digital likeness. Obviously, it has to be approved on the blockchain, so it's not secured, so we don't have that deep fake kind of thing which you see right now on videos. And this training and module and manipulation has been done. So this really will help the producers to save a lot of money, because the actors don't have to physically go travel and their accommodation cost can be saved. Similarly, actors, specifically Hollywood actors who don't have time, they can probably save a lot of their time, and they can actually take up more number of sessions, and they can take up more number of movies, more number of web series and things like that. So this is probably completed with a paid POC stage, and now it's going into the production. So you might see a lot of the film actors having this digital likeness model of them. And this is something I really wanted to highlight, because with tools like AI, specific with the Microsoft Copilot, I think a lot of technologies are getting benefited, and a lot of companies are getting huge revenue as well. So this is one thing where the technology is heading towards. Now here's a small video, about, like, I asked a question. This is a video of Singapore where I actually wanted to get a solution about, an image or something like that. So I just tried to ask a question to an AI robot. This was, by the way, made by a third-year engineering student at Singapore Management University. So I just wanted to ask him a question about, creativity.
The transmission seems lost. Repeat your answer into the microphone, please. What do you seek in this boundless sea? Imagine an object.
Fishes.
The transmission seems lost. Repeat your answer into the microphone, please. What do you seek in this boundless sea? Imagine an object.
Creativity.
Emotional footprint logged, embedding coordinates now. Your escape is ready. You can't enter, but trust me, it's beautiful.
So you can see, the AI was not able to detect the word like fishes, but it was able to detect the word like creativity. So these AI tools can understand, but they cannot understand everything accurately. The way how you speak, the way how you give the context really helps them to come up with this kind of images, right? So this is how I just wanted to show why AI is not able to understand everything accurately, and you have to give the right prompt for that, right? And this is how the future of work looks like, because I think everything is advanced. This is again a video about very specific machines. I'm sure you might have seen in US. We in India we don't have that much. I was there in Malaysia, so I saw this amazing video. So you can see this amazing kind of, a gesture where I want a food, I want a South Indian item, and I really was passionate to see an AI robot coming to me and exactly stopping at where I am. Right. So this is how an advanced AI can do. Right. There's a company right now called Nordstrom where you have this option of virtual fitting room. So in the e-commerce sector also, you can actually, sit at your home and imagine, select those dresses which you want to buy and actually try it yourself before you actually go to the shop and buy. So this is also the future of work which I see right now. Right. I'm sure this one a lot of people might have seen. I'll just reduce the volume for the purposes. So this is very specifically about, getting a charging point. So you can see here, these are the charging wireless options. You just need to put your phone, and this is literally there in Seoul, in Korea, everywhere, where you have bus stops, metros, where you really don't have to carry a power bank. Even they give power banks on rent, right? So that's an thing using with the AI and with the latest technologies right now. Right. And a lot of folks ask me, like, why do you select Copilot? Why don't you select other tools? There's Perplexity, right? There's a lot of tools using. So I see Copilot as the future. The reason being, if you can see this robot, right, in this scenario where there are a lot of old age people, and this is the robot trying to understand what exactly the audience wants, and based upon that, it is trying to frame or try to tell a story, right? Similarly, when you go to events like Tony Robbins or TEDx events, you'll find a lot of crowd. And with the automation coming into the pace, now based upon what the audience want, you try to design things accordingly. So this is all happening with the automation. This is all happening with the AI tools right now. And it is able to capture a lot of data, because again, when you go to Copilot, you try to give a lot of data, and that data can be understood to utilize for the future purpose. And even if, let's say, I want to search some random thing, I can get some index about someone might have searched in the previous time, so I can actually see what was the exact thing. So this is one advantage I am right now seeing when it comes to storytelling. And I've had a lot of folks talk about how it has benefited when it comes to large audiences, specifically when it is a physical event, where you start with a story, you share them, and then based upon their understanding of their human mindset, you're trying to analyze and you're trying to picture it in such a way that you can actually understand about what they want. Similarly, this is an example of what Elon Musk is designing when it comes to advanced technology. So you can see, like, very limited number of people. It's all driverless cars. I think in US, you already have this, right? Where you have an option to use a driverless cars, and then obviously they take pictures, and based upon your emotions, the color of the road can also change. So if you're angry, it will become red. If you're at peace, it becomes blue. All those kind of holograms and all those kind of automation is available. I mean, with the emergent technologies like IoT, AI, machine learning, we are seeing all this kind of advancement. And I'm sure in the next 5 years, we are going to see less number of people walking on the roads, rather more number of driverless cars, and people trying to use all this kind of lovely, amazing devices, flights, and all those kind of helicopters and stuff like that. Right now, in terms of a lot of people ask me, like, Abhilekh, you've been talking about the theoretical aspect. How about the prompt scenarios? I mean, where in marketing it can really help me. So I've been designing a lot of training content, right? So one of the biggest use case for me is, let's say, I go to JP Morgan Chase, a specific bank, and they have a team. They want me to do a role playing setting, and they give me a situation where there are, like, 15 of the members who are specifically selling a product, let's say credit card, and then there is a separate wing selling insurance, right? So based upon the scenario, I can plan, and based upon the training material, I can try to make that role playing, and I can suggest that person, or let's say the co-pilot here, that, give me an idea where I will give them a context saying, like, look, I'm actually at a setting where we are at JP Morgan, and consider me as top 1% trainer in the world. Give me all those kind of, things to take care and things not to do in that session. So those kind of list I can make. And at the same time, I can also talk about the researching skills. So how I can make it more personalized based upon what they want and based upon my skill sets. Okay, so I'll upload my resume, I'll upload my my documents, and I'll give Copilot some understanding about what I know. It will make plan exactly what I want. So it will accelerate my development planning. And at the end, I will get the exact customer life cycle and retention, because from a sales point of view, I can show from the starting of how they do the conversation to the time when they are going to retain the customer, right? To the entire product life cycle. So I can do that entire planning. And then obviously in between, I can do a lot of brainstorming, because there's a lot of ideas I need to validate, or let's say I need to, pass around that, maybe dismiss it quickly. So all those kind of things can be done. It's just the right keywords you need to select to set up some kind of prompt scenarios. Now here's an example I would love to give. Like a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's a little tough to reply to everyone, because we get a lot of LinkedIn emails, right? A lot of people pitching XYZ solution and things like that. But let's say if you're focused on maybe generating a sponsor for the event, or let's say you're looking for exactly something which is about generating a lead for your specific business. So when I talk about a use case like pipeline generation, so here the goal is to get that message read, right? The first situation is to get that message read. And the second is the most important, is your qualitative and quantitative research backed prompt, right? So this is just an example. When I'm trying to message a specific persona's prompt, let's say I'm messaging somebody who's a CFO of an industrial manufacturing company. So I will myself suggest the Copilot, look, you consider yourself as the CFO, and you influence the purchasing of marketing technology by asking XYZ questions. And what my company does, I'll just insert some basic things, and I'll ask them to quickly do a meeting, or let's say to support the deal, give me a strategy. So what are the top 3 things I should put in an email, and then a follow-up LinkedIn message along with this prompt to book a meeting. So it will give me the exact steps from step 1 to step 3, where I not just engage the person through a LinkedIn personal text, but also to reach a situation where I do a follow-up and then try to get a meeting done, and then move forward to that same funnel, right? The sales cadence, which I say. So this is just an example of how you can use Copilot, where you can exactly use this kind of scenarios and try to get the best replies. Because again, a lot of folks reach out to a lot of people through LinkedIn email, but again, sometimes we ourselves don't reply, right? So how do you differentiate that kind of thing? So you can use this kind of prompts. This is an example of a very specific organization which I have myself experimented and I've got some good responses. This also will depend on few things which is a caveat emptor. So the time of when you're sending the message, so you shouldn't send in an time when it is like different, like something like for example, right now in India it's around midnight, right? So I shouldn't send a message to someone on LinkedIn at a midnight time, right? So I should send them in a business hours. So those are also things which you need to consider along with the prompt and to get people the right solution. There's a company called Airbnb. I'm sure everyone would have seen how they use AI right now. I mean, initially they really struggled to find those optimal prices for the properties because again, a lot of properties were unsold, or let's say, they were underpriced. So there was a lot of loss in revenue. But in 2015, they came up with this AI driven smart pricing where they had a color coded calendar. I'll show you in the next slide, where they show you the seasonality, the property features, the demand, so that you know when you can buy this. Same thing, there's a website called Skyscanner right now. So you want to book a hotel, you want to book a flight, right? So it will try to compare all the flights, it will try to compare all the hotels, and it'll give you the best mix, which is the cheapest, which is the best, and all those kind, which is the quickest to go, let's say from one location to another location, right? So this is just a live showcase of, and this is, by the way, they did it in 2015, but this is something which most of the organizations are still trying to implement. It's not being implemented in most of the organizations right now. There are a lot of startups struggling to implement this when it comes to showing you this kind of thing. So I can see here very clearly, where the price is low and where I should book the hotel, right? So this is a AI-based smart pricing, which is again backed by these amazing tools. So all this kind of analytics, all this kind of things, there's a lot of data you need before you actually try to, give it to your customers. Right. And believe me, this actually helped them to increase the revenue and to decrease the rate for guest. I mean, the vacancy, which was a big challenge for them. So there's a good percentage of a revenue, which is 8.6%. And then a lot of people, who were not coming on the property. So right now, if you remember, if you go and book a hotel, they give you an option where you can pay at the hotel. Now, why this option is coming to you? It is because based on the research, a lot of people don't feel confident to book a hotel, and then when they go there and they realize, look, I don't like the hotel room and things like that, right? So this is how the AI smart pricing works, and this is why most of the hotels now give an option where you can actually pay at the hotel when you reach, right? So this is how the AI is working. Another beautiful example I would like to highlight, which is using an amazing NLP, or you can say natural language search, is Spotify. We use a lot of things when it comes to listening to music, even podcast, right? So whatever we are searching specifically, it is able to understand that semantic correlation between words, between synonyms and paraphrasing. So if you're searching a specific song, or if you're trying to search a specific podcast, let's say you're searching Microsoft 365 User Group, and you want to know which is the best podcast available there. So it will give you a recommendation of which are the other podcasts you should also follow, right? So those kind of paraphrasing and all those kind of semantics, it is able to figure it out, right? And this is really useful and helpful. Because I have been invited as a guest. I have myself hosted some podcasts in the past, but I was not clear about how to reach to similar kind of audience, or let's say how to find out those kind of amazing YouTube channels, or let's say amazing kind of similar kind of channels. So those kind of specific search engines have to give me just like in Google, it shows you should also visit this, right? Something like that. Similarly in Amazon, it gives you should also try this product, right? So all those kind of things Spotify have been developing since several years, and they've been really successful when it comes to getting a lot of customers for them, right? Even believe me, it's also using Google's AI to tailor podcasts for audiobooks and recommendations, right? So that's what they've been doing now. Now, these are some of my favorite. I have highlighted some selected use cases. The first one I wanted to highlight using ChatGPT because again, a lot of us use ChatGPT and Copilot. I can say hand on hand, right? So Meta have been using both ChatGPT and Copilot. It can actually use chatbots on Facebook and WhatsApp. A lot of us right now use WhatsApp, and you might have seen WhatsApp coming with different apps. And if you use a WhatsApp business account, you can see those kind of features where you have payment account, you can actually do a lot of extra features using AI, right? And even a lot of this 24/7 customer support has been provided worldwide, right? Similarly, Canva is using ChatGPT and Copilot to use some engaging and amazing information content. I mean, you go to ChatGPT or you go to the ChatGPT, let's say 4.0, and you will get an extension called Canva, right? Similarly with Copilot also, you can have Canva on top of it, right? So these kind of smart text fixtures are helping to get some great text placement, font and style suggestions. Right now, when you talk about, let's say I'm talking more about marketing, how about the other versions of the people whom I work with? Okay, so there's customer support, there's marketing team which does the content generation, and obviously the developers with whom I sit and work closely, right? So these are some use cases which I have actually implemented. One is obviously bankers using chatbot to give financial advice to their clients. Right, I mean, you might have seen like the websites of banks have really improved. Now they have amazing chatbots which give you not just the solution, but they'll also try to give you, you should look for this rather than this, right? So that kind of financial advice. The sales and marketing department can integrate your CRM into Copilot, right? So that's a feature you have it available right now. Believe me, I have even seen a lot of companies right now in US replacing the entire sales department with AI, right? Because the AI can actually do the calling, the cold calling on that behalf. Because the language which the salesperson is speaking, it can be recorded and it can be AI fine-tuned, and then it can reach to the right prospect and try to book a meeting, right? So there are also likely chances we can see a replacement of this department using AI. Medical diagnosis, I mean, a lot of folks talk about the advancements of healthcare. So Copilot can really help us to do a lot of medical diagnosis. It can predict in advance things about, let's say, cancer or different kind of, segments where it is very tough to identify diagnosis. Right, it can write codes and help in documentation for programmers. I mean, there's one of my favorite. I use Copilot Studio. Right, it is I think $200 per month. Right, so that really helps to use it and to get all those things, all the documentation at one place. Basically, I literally don't have to type and code myself. It's just like everything is available at my fingertip. Right, and the last one I've already spoken about the song lyrics. I mean, just go and check. I mean, these are the things which you can literally go and check in the Copilot right now, which can really help you to find a lot of such amazing things. So it's not necessary you need to be a pro in marketing or let's say a pro in digital marketing. Everyone can do that. It's just the right kind of prompt which you need to give, and that will help you to give you the right set of reply and the output. All right. Now this is something with China implemented long back about buying things using facial recognition. I'm sure it will be implemented in every part of the world.
This is me using my face to get into a convenience store in China where you can buy food through facial recognition technology. Using your face to buy food is already a reality. Here's one system that KFC and Chinese search engine giants Baidu implemented in China. KFC's system even remembers your face and food preferences so it can better recommend you new products. Much like KFC, this convenience store we visited in the city of Shenzhen has partnered with a tech giant, in this case, the payment app WeChat Pay, to create an experimental face-to-food experience. The store, Zhouheiya, encourages people to play and pay with facial recognition technology. With just your face and a simple thumbs up, the system will deduct money from your linked WeChat account.
Making my mobile payment by facial recognition juice.
I come get this.
This may feel very dystopian, but facial recognition has apparently been a welcomed advancement in big cities in China.
So in China, the facial recognition is quite popular. In some scenarios, new institutions.
喺一啲小鋪頭嗰度，你攞一張100蚊嘅出嚟，佢甚至冇散紙可以找你，係。
Is the price of convenience worth the huge loss in privacy? To leave us with some words from the late and great Prince, who gave this speech at the Yahoo Internet Life Awards in 1999.
Don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you.
Right. So there has been a lot of advancement which I see with different countries, where they have been using a lot of such dish tools. Right. Now, before I go back and showcase some of the other tools which I use along with Copilot, I would just like to showcase about Copilot, how it is useful. So one of the greatest things in Copilot is you can have a lot of extensions. Right, so I use Grammarly per se, which is obviously helping me to correct my grammar when I try to things like that. And similarly, there's a lot of other options which I can use to find my previous, like let's say whatever I have searched. So there are different tools which you can use. Now, one good part of using Copilot is I can just write a random thing and it will give me the detailed answer. So I'm just going to give you a live example for a Copilot prompt, right? So, so this is just a basic thing. I have just asked the Copilot to basically write a paragraph for Gen AI, very specifically for corporates. I mean, obviously, I will just make sure it is for corporate professionals, right? And also to summarize in a single line. All right, so it has just written it very specifically. And as you can see, one thing which I wanted to highlight is it's giving me from where it has got the context, and it's also giving me some of the sources. So you can see McKinsey is one of the sources which is giving, and it is just, giving me very summarized answer and very specifically about what I want to. Let's say I'm a basic user. I don't know what is Gen AI. I don't know what Gen AI is going to do in this particular year, and let's say what is the summary of this, so I can really have it in a nutshell in quickly things. Now let's say I want to go a little bit more advanced and I want to get something very specific, specific use case. So let's say you're looking for a, way to convince your boss for a 7 days leave, but unfortunately there's a lot of schedule and clients meeting schedule. So how do you convince them? So it has trying to give me a step-by-step solution about how to plan ahead, right? So obviously you have to tell your boss a little bit ahead, right? And how will you help that workload to go on a little bit someone else, or maybe you can arrange for someone else to complete those tasks. And how do you plan to give a detailed handover plan, right? So who will be that team member who will do your activities? Then how do you schedule that kind of meeting? So you can see each of the steps. I mean, generally from a human mindset, I would have never thought to have this in a very structured format. But with Copilot, I can literally have, and then I can present my case. I can talk about why it is important for my well-being. I need a break. I really need to go 7 days, maybe to Hawaii Islands or somewhere other place, right? So, but I just want this break, right? So I can also talk about my commitment, and I can talk about like whatever task has been pending, I will do it at the end once I return, and why this will be refreshing and focused for me. And this is an example, right? Hi, and you have to replace your boss name, and this is how you put the request or kind of an email. Now, again, let's say it's like your friend, it's like as it says, your AI companion. So you all want it to keep giving you the best solution. So now you will be writing another prompt saying, great, but I need it in an email format for under 35 words, very specific. So I just want to make sure that I'm not writing a long letter and things like that, though I can add something on my own as well. But let's say very specific, like let's say, for example, leave request for vacation, requesting 7 days of leave to recharge, detailed handover plan prepared, and you insert the link, let's say, colleague's name. We'll cover this task 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Appreciate it, and that's it, right? So it's a very specific kind of solution you can get using this Copilot. And the one of the good part is, like, you really didn't have to put a lot of efforts. You just had to put a little bit effort to put the right prompt. I mean, you can again change it to under 100 words as well. But let's say if you do it with 35 gives, you just give you the very specific things which you can say to get this approved. Now, let's say I want to talk about something very specifically about sales. Okay, so I now want to touch the topic of sales. Okay, so let's say I want to know about, suggest me best ways to find my prospects in IT industry in Minnesota, and help me with a strategy to convince them to buy So very specific, I've been requesting the Copilot to give me some strategies to convince that, I have a very good digital marketing services and I have some great USPs. So, make it very specific so that I can really convince this person. So you can see this, how they have given this very specific to Minnesota. So obviously I can go to networking events and conferences. This is one suggestion. Another is LinkedIn. I mean, you already know you can convert to LinkedIn. Again is a local tech association. So it has identified Minnesota Technology Association, MinTech, right? And then referrals. And then obviously, how do I frame my USP and offers? So this is how it has written that, we like to discuss about our services. These are the unique selling propositions. Now, obviously, if you can see here, one thing which I was talking about, the accuracy part. So here I have not understood what I wanted. Here they have mention your USPs, where I have clearly mentioned, then frame that for me, right? So now I will try to, try to change it a little bit in terms of prompt and, try to, see if I can actually give them a better kind of a solution. So instead of this, I will just copy paste, and maybe instead of this, I will write take top 10 USPs of best marketing professionals, like say, let me make Neil Patel. Okay. Now let's see how the prompt has changed, and let's see if they are able to identify or they are still making the same mistake. Nah, it is still making the same mistake, you see. So they are still not able to identify the USPs. They're not still about to. I am on the free version, right? And they're not able to give me that kind of an information, right? So now then you have to again go back and then try to explain who Neil Patel is, what are the 10 USPs, and give them a little bit more context so they can actually, give you the right solution. But this is just an example to show you shouldn't blindly trust AI in terms of getting the prompts. You still have to do a little bit of more research. Now, if you put around like, their website, and then instead of that, pick up things like that. So let's say I'll do that, another time to see if they can pick it up this time. Let's experiment this. Let's see. So they couldn't find very specific USP per se, but they have already given some kind of, let's say, similar kind of USPs which you can find, right? Still, they are not able to find very specific to this website, right? Very specific about what marketing professional like, because they don't have much information I have fed maybe about the website and things like that, right? But they are able to give me some kind of generic top professionals USP. At least they have highlighted the 10 USPs which you can talk about. For example, influencer marketing, innovative campaigns, PPC campaigns, email marketing. So they have actually tried to do that. But here you can see they have actually replaced it. So the good part is here they have actually replaced it with some of the specific things like SEO, content marketing, social media, right? So based upon the prompt, it will keep changing. But then, as I mentioned, with a pro versus with a free tool, there's a vast difference. The same thing with ChatGPT as well. So when you buy ChatGPT 4.0, it will give you a more specific answer. Excuse me. So now let's just go back to where we were. Yeah. So now a lot of folks ask me about like what are your best AI tools recommendations. So like let's say for example when we use PowerPoint, we know that we want to make some amazing slides and things like that. So there's a lot of tools you can see on the slide. Parallelly, I can also recommend a lot of tools. Specifically like Fireflies. I love Fireflies because again it can record meetings on my behalf, just like you have a lot of tools already doing it right now on my behalf, right? And then obviously these kind of tools are useful, but then obviously these tools will have a trial version, so you can just check it out if it is useful for you. If not, then you can probably go and probably you can select the right ones for you, right? And this is how the world is. Everyone is moving fast. I mean, when you talk about not just technology, everything is changing. I mean, just like how we so every month we get newsletters about, what are the changes to Microsoft Teams, to Power BI, to Copilot, right? To everywhere. So everything is moving fast and we also need to speed up. So we really need to find those kind of hidden prompts, which we really have to start using. That is something I would like to highlight. These are my favorite selected fantastic AI tools, which I have been using along with Copilot, right? So Figma is one of my favorite. So these tools which I have, they have 6 months free licenses or 3 months free licenses. I'll share the deck if you want. So this is available for all people. You can try this. Also, I think one of my favorite tools for pictures and videos. This also has a 3 months free license. So this is with Pictree AI. This is something I love to create videos, to create some short pictures and things like that. And obviously, if you're in marketing, you should definitely try Copy AI. I mean, because I really love writing workflows. So this just helped me a lot of my time. Right. ChatGPT 4.0, I think everyone is using. So we can obviously talk about, but I'm talking about something extra, which is superpowered ChatGPT. This is a tool which really helps me to create different folders and it really helps me to save a lot of my time. Even different prompts are being saved and even it suggests me some community prompts, which is freely available. So all those prompts, I have free access to that. So it's called Superpowered ChatGPT, which I use with ChatGPT. So these are some of my favorite recommended tools, which I think you should also start using. When you talk about Copilot and ChatGPT alternatives, you can see these are a lot of alternatives. We've been using, I think, most of them. I've not used, let's say, Inflection PI. Other than that, I think I have used, I've used Grok, Perplexity, Llama, Meta, Copy.ai, right? Gemini, Claude, right? So I think most of us have been using a lot of tools. So based upon the requirement and based upon what you want, you can use it. But I can still recommend Copilot and ChatGPT being my favorite when it comes to doing any kind of presentations or let's say PowerPoint or let's say email marketing or any kind of things related with marketing and sales. So I really love Copilot. Right, so these are some of the beautiful prompts which I wanted to give. Now these are ChatGPT I wanted to give. The reason being obviously ChatGPT has some relative segments which is way advanced when it comes to prompts for, let's say, for us specifically, right? So you can see here very specifically you have because this session is about marketing, so I just wanted to highlight this very specific. So let's say I want lead generation prompts, or let's say I want landing page optimization. I want event marketing prompts, how to do great event marketing. I've seen some amazing event marketing, how you can get a lot of people to events. Right, then let's say if I want to do customer segmentation, I want to do competitive. So there's a lot of different values you can get it and all under one single area. So you really don't have to go to multiple places. You can just get it at a one single place. I mean, yeah, I mean, this person has contributed. It's available for free. His name is Andrew. right? So you can see this amazing different lead generation. This is for lead magnet. Just copy paste this, and you can just copy paste this to your Copilot, and you can use this amazing prompts. I won't be showing you these prompts here, but you can see like so many prompts are available, and these are around 18,000 prompts. I really wanted to show. So when I say ChatGPT doesn't mean it won't work. Let's say in Copilot, it will still work in Copilot. So it's just the prompts you can use, and this is just amazing. Like this kind of things you can use, and it can really help you to get the best out of the best, right? And again, a lot of landing page optimizations you want to do, or let's say you want to capture a lot of leads, right? So you can again go back here, and then you can collect a lot of different things. So you can just bookmark this and then come back again, right? I think one of my favorite I can show you is, let me check if I can get, yeah, for event marketing. I think one of the important is post-event follow-up, right? So, I mean, you can see here, like you are a seasonal post-event follow-up analysis, and you've seen the good and badly considered. So what are some common pitfalls to avoid? So it will suggest you, what are the things you should do, what are the things you should avoid, and things like that. So it's just amazing, right? I mean, you can really get a lot of things, and you can, just have to just copy paste. And these are so many amazing prompts. These are the number of prompts, by the way. So you can see like how many prompts are there, and you can keep going, and I think the list never ends. It's a very big list, and I think this is something I really found it very useful for us, and I've been using like most of the stuff for my marketing and for my sales. So I'm sure you can also start using it depending upon the use case, and you can also change it. So let's say if you feel you're not doing upselling, you're doing a cross selling, so you can change the context, and then obviously you can get the right prompt accordingly, right? So this is very specific to this. Now let's just quickly go back. So yeah, that's all. I think I just wanted to have some Q&A as well. If anybody would like to ask me any questions, and you can also connect to me if you want to scan, or you can search my name. You can get me, and we can be connected on LinkedIn. Thank you, Donald, and thank you, Michelle, for having me here. And happy to take if there are any questions.
Yeah, I don't see any questions in the chat. Michelle, have you seen? I don't see anything. Anybody come off mute and want to, or raise your hand, ask questions? All right, I think we're good.
All right, yeah, thank you so much. That was a great presentation. I think it really helps, for us being M365 focused, what is out there and what people are using, especially as admins, being able to know, what's going on out in the ChatGPT world, and then how does Copilot, work, seeing that in action, touching on some of the prompt engineering, I think was really valuable too, to just showcase that. I don't think we've done a ton of that here in this space. So hopefully everyone found it really valuable, and thank you so much for presenting today.
Thank you so much, Michelle and Dom. Thank you.